So today, we're going to dive into a simple but honestly a pretty profound idea. It's all wrapped up in the title of a story, The Illusion of the Carrier. And trust me, it's a concept that might just change how you look at your own struggles. Let me start by asking you something, and I want you to really think about it. Look at the burdens in your life, the big ones, the small ones. Are you really the one carrying all of that weight? Or is it possible that you're actually being carried? Let's see how a little story can completely unpack that question. Okay, so our story begins somewhere we all know, an airport. But right away, the vibe is just off. This isn't the usual buzz of people excited for a trip. No, the air is thick, and you can feel this unspoken anxiety. Something's definitely not right. And it's the little details that are telling the whole story, right? The flight screens are blinking on and off. You see the staff huddled together, whispering like something serious is going down. The tension is just building and building for every single person there. And then an announcement just cuts through all that nervous quiet. It's sharp, it's official, and it's basically what everyone was afraid of. The plane is just too heavy. And if that doesn't change, well, this flight might not be happening at all. So as you can imagine, a wave of panic just ripples through the crowd. People are scrambling, they're opening their bags, trying to figure out what they can leave behind. But right in the middle of all this chaos, there's our main character, Arun. And he's not worried. Actually, he's smiling. See, Arun thinks he's got it all figured out. To him, the problem is simple, and so is the fix. Step 1, okay, the suitcase is the problem. Step 2, I'll just move the heaviest stuff into my backpack. Step 3, boom, problem solved. In his head, the logic is perfect. If he's the one carrying the weight on his own back, it's not the airline's problem anymore, right? Yeah, this is pretty much the thought bubble over his head. It's that feeling of quiet confidence, maybe even a little bit of pride. He thinks he's found the loophole, the clever little trick that everyone else missed. As far as Arun is concerned, this issue is done. Solved. So, Arun boards the plane, feeling pretty pleased with himself. The doors close, you hear the engine start to hum, and then nothing. The plane just sits there, a big metal tube full of people just waiting and wondering. And we're not talking about a 5-minute delay. The minutes just keep stretching on until it's been a full hour. That initial confidence starts to wear off, and it's replaced by the same frustration that's filling the rest of the cabin. What is going on? Finally, the captain's voice crackles over the intercom, and the words, they just hit Arun like a ton of bricks. We are still over the permitted weight limit. His clever solution, his personal effort, it made absolutely zero difference. And this is the exact moment Arun's whole logical world just starts to crumble. You can imagine the gears grinding in his head. He's doing the math over and over. I physically move the weight. I can feel it on my shoulders. How could the plane not know that? It just doesn't make any sense. And right then, a calm, gentle voice cuts through his frantic thoughts. It's an old man sitting next to him, and he doesn't give an answer, he just asks a question. It's a weird question, but it makes Arun stop. No, Arun says, totally confused. And then comes the second question, the one that changes absolutely everything. The old man just looks at him and asks, then tell me, who is carrying that weight right now? And this is where it all clicks. You see, you've got two completely different realities happening at the same time. In Arun's mind, his reality was defined by his own effort. I am carrying the weight. But the airplane? It operates under a much bigger, simpler reality. To the plane, it doesn't care who's holding what. If the weight is on board, the plane is carrying it, all of it. So, as this is all sinking in for Arun, the old man takes the whole idea one giant step further, way beyond the airplane. He asks another one of those simple but incredibly deep questions. The breath you just took, did you create it? Or did you just receive it? And this is the real heart of the story. Arun was so focused on being the carrier, but the truth is, he was always being carried. First, by the airplane, but also by forces so much bigger than him. The air that keeps him alive, life itself, this whole massive system that works completely outside of his own personal effort. So here's the key insight. The physical weight of those objects in his bag never changed. The only thing that changed was Arun's perspective. He let go of what we can call the burden of ownership, that exhausting, heavy belief that you and you alone are responsible for carrying everything. And so often, that belief is way heavier than the actual problem. And this is the peaceful realization that just washes over Arun. See? It's not about giving up or not trying. He can still act, he can still work hard. But now he gets the difference. He is not the carrier of it all. He's not the ultimate source of his own strength. He's just a participant in something so much bigger. And this is really the core takeaway for all of us. It's the difference between two ways of living. When we forget this truth, we suffer under this illusion that we have to carry everything by ourselves. But when we remember it, we can surrender. And not in a giving up kind of way, but surrendering in peace, trusting that we are, in fact, being carried. Which brings us right to this final powerful thought. You are not the one carrying life. Life is carrying you. So the only real question left to ask yourself is this: what weight are you trying to carry today that you could simply allow to be carried for you?